Hey guys, welcome back to Our Lives Across the Border. I hope you guys are all doing well today. I am doing great. It is my Friday, so it's actually Wednesday here. Our shop is closed on Thursdays, so this is my Friday, and we always have tacos at night. Sometimes we get some chips, and sometimes we have some adult beverages, so happy Friday to me. Anyways, if you have not liked the channel, please like it, subscribe, and drop a comment and share. And ask away. If I've got an answer or knowledge, I will definitely do a video on it. So today what I wanted to talk about, and I was actually just doing something in the house, and every time I do this, I think to myself, gosh, I really, really miss this item that I used to always have in the United States that is pretty uncommon here to have. So there's actually a couple of things. Number one is going to be a dishwasher. Every home that I have been in here, where I live, and I live close to the border, nobody has a dishwasher. You are the dishwasher. So I feel like all I do is dishes all day. You know, you cook breakfast, you're washing breakfast dishes, you cook lunch dishes, dinner, and of course having kids, sometimes because they're so young, sometimes they're eating a little bit different than mom and dad would do. So always doing dishes by hand. And I actually suffer from eczema, and sometimes I get really bad outbreaks. So I have had a struggle with that, with the water drying out my hands. The water here is very harsh, and so that also, with you know, washing dishes all the time, it does dry my hands out. So a dishwasher would be nice. I'm sure you could buy one and somehow have it installed, and I'm sure some people probably have. Unfortunately, in our house, we don't have one. And like I said, all the places that I've been, family around here, none of them have a dishwasher. So, and now that I think about it, I've never seen them being sold here, but I've never actually went and looked. But I'm sure you probably could purchase it somewhere, but might not be a hot item because it's probably not considered a necessity here. So number two of things that I absolutely miss that I used to have in every home I lived in the United States is a bathtub. I know most people shower. I like shower quick too, but every once in a while, especially like today, which would be my Friday, love to take a hot bath and just relax. I was a bath girl growing up. Always, even as an adult, would love to just soak in the tub, you know, once or twice a week. Like the dishwasher, every home that I've been in here just has a shower, and the showers usually are huge here. They're very big. They're walk-in showers, and they're huge. But no bathtub. So like, that's another thing I've never really seen being sold here, but it's not something I've gone and looked for. And I'm not saying that they don't exist here in Mexico. Just where I live, and all the homes that I've been in, it's usually just the stand-up tile shower, and which also can be a little bit different. We have two young kids, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. So getting them to take a shower is kind of scary to them. So what I have actually done to kind of course, when they were babies, we had the little small infant tubs that, you know, you could use it on the countertop. You didn't even have to put it into the tub. But now that there's two of them, you know, it's easier to bathe them together. So I'm going to be honest. I bought one of those plastic pools, the smaller, they're usually blue, and it fits right into our shower. And I will fill that up with water, and they will actually take a bath in there, and it works great. And I always do wonder what other mothers do around here to give their babies baths, you know, or if they just start training them in the shower right away. These two are terrified of the shower, so that is how we do baths for them. And number three of something that not every home in the United States has, but something that I had as a child, which, I mean, is kind of weird as a child thinking about it, but even as an adult, is a garage. Here, we have like covered patios, so it's covered where your cars are, but you could walk or drive like all the way through. It's not enclosed. And so the reason I say that is because I never parked in any of the garages I had. My parents do, but even as a kid growing up, they parked in the garage, but there was storage shelves. And so, you know, like you would have storage room to go and store stuff. And so here we don't have, it's not enclosed. So you can't just go put stuff out on shelves and stuff. It would get dirty, blown away. You know, animals might get into it, you know, whatever. So I do kind of miss having a garage, I guess, for the storage, really, to be honest. Our house is actually fairly large. We are blessed with that. But the storage in it is very minimal, very, very minimal. So I do find myself moving stuff from area to area to area because there's nowhere to store it, you know. So those are the three things that I absolutely miss the most and those are more like convenience things. I do realize that, but a lot of things that we take for granted, I think, in the United States, you know. And like I said, the bathtub thing with babies can be a little bit difficult. I found a way to kind of fix that for now. Hopefully when they get a little bit older, they'll be okay with actually taking a shower. So, and a dishwasher, maybe someday we can get one. I don't know if it would be able to be hooked up, you know, the plumbing into, just because of the way our kitchen is, but maybe one of those that, you know, you hook up to the sink. And one thing with a dishwasher though is, I don't know, sometimes the water pressure here can be very, very low. And I know that might be an issue, because I know that's an issue with the washer. Sometimes it takes the load very long time to fill up because the pressure sometimes is really low. I don't know why, it just happens sometimes. So I guess maybe washing by hand is just the best way to go. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Like I said, please like, share, comment, and we'll see you soon. Bye.